Hi, I'm Jenny from Refresh Living, and today I'm going to show you all my tricks for how to strip off old finish from vintage furniture. You can see this piece, the finish is in pretty bad shape. There's some places where it's bubbling up, maybe from other stripper or something else that got on it. It's just pretty much in really bad shape. So I'm going to show you how I clean this guy up and reveal the natural wood to be refinished. This is my favorite type of furniture stripper. It's called Citrus Strip. It's really low odor and it also is really thick, so it clings really well to the surface, and it also adheres really well to the sides of furniture, which causes a lot less dripping. I've used a lot of different types of stripper, and this is by far my favorite one and the one I always recommend. After you've applied stripper in an even layer, this next step is probably my most important one that I always recommend to people. You're going to grab a plastic drop cloth or even saran wrap and apply it over the entire surface, lightly rubbing to make sure that the plastic is in contact with the stripper, which is also in contact with the top or the side of your piece of furniture. What this does is it keeps the stripper moist and doesn't let it evaporate, and so it doesn't dry out, and it makes it super easy to remove. I let it sit usually for 24 hours. Once it can sit and do its work, it makes it much easier to strip off that old finish in the next step. A couple of tricks I found to help is I always use a plastic scraper first. If you use a metal scraper, it will scratch the surface of your furniture. And then after I get the gunk on the scraper, I found it's helpful to always have something to scrape it off into. So this is just a cardboard box with a bag attached around it. So then I can just take the bag out and just throw it away because that's all the gunk in there. After everything or that first coat is off, you want to go over it with paint thinner, or sometimes there's stripper wash as well that works. And I'm just going to use fine steel wool and dip it in the paint thinner and just rub it on the surface to get all the extra stripper off. Because I was stripping the top of a piece for this, I just poured a little bit right on top, but I also have a container that has some clean stripper in it, so then I can take my steel wool and clean it off in that clean stripper. When I'm doing the side of a piece, that's the method I use. I have a container with stripper, I get some on my steel wool, and then I rub it on the surface to get off all the extra stripper. You can see that this piece only needed one coat of stripper. If after the first coat I noticed there was still places where the finish was intact, I would do one more coat over the whole piece, and that usually is all you'll ever need to do, would be 2 coats. The last step is to lightly sand the piece to get to an even finish. I love using my orbital sander for this. Usually 220 grit sandpaper is all I need because I'm not really removing any of the finish. I've already done that with the stripper. This just smooths it all out and gives it a really nice surface to be able to use top coat on.